question is
That
this.
is the rule.
My question
is the direction of the Speaker.
Sir, there is also a consequence of your reading the rule in this particular manner. May I please add here? Because let me go to Vinod Sharma then. Then by implication, Jay Panda, I'll come to you. I'll give you a full opportunity to respond to Mr. Soos. Vinod Sharma, by implication here, what happens is, you cite the procedure, some will say to hide the fact, and you say that the entire work of the previous PAC can be simply put into the dustbin. Let's start afresh. Forget the fact that so many depositions happened. Pick it all up, throw it into the dustbin, because the members, the constituents of the PAC changed. It's like saying the shareholding pattern of a company changed, and hence we can appoint a new CEO who starts afresh, building the industry from scratch. That seems to be the kind of logic being applied here.
No, Arnab, I think that without taking sides, I think much of what Mr. Soos is saying would have really, would have carried weight had it not been the situation in which the government finds itself on the 2G scam. And I totally disagree with Mr. Chari when he says that the Speaker has acted out of line with the Constitution. The Speaker couldn't have accepted this report, which didn't have the weight of the entire PAC and at least a majority, if not consensus. So she has sent it back. I would suggest that, Mr. Murli Manor Joshi is a very seasoned politician. He is not known to play politics, partisan politics, the way many of his colleagues in the opposition do. And the best way to get this report out of the PAC with some kind of consensus would be to perhaps reopen those areas where Mr. Joshi perhaps didn't listen to what is called the majority. And if you remember that the 2G, it doesn't begin and end with the UPA government. It has also an implication for the NDA government. And if there was a demand to summon Mr. Arun Shourie, who besides being a journalist has also been telecom minister, and there's also been some debate happening in the JPC with regard to the membership of certain people on that committee. I think that, there should be an effort by the chairman, who's a very senior person, to develop a bipartisan consensus behind this report. And another thing where perhaps Congress has gone wrong, I think Mr. Shaw shouldn't have come on this program. If he really wanted his argument against Mr. Joshi to gel, that he has been briefing the media regularly on the proceedings of the PAC, which I thought was very out of character.
Mr. Sharma,
this never happens.
Mr. Sharma,
the PAC does its work
Mr. Sharma,
quietly,
tonight,
and as Jay Panda said, it tries and evolve a consensus on the issue.
Tonight,
and I think that you see why we don't have a report today where behind which there is no consensus, because both sides are trying to play politics.
No,
they are trying to use this opportunity to embarrass each other.
Well, I mean, Mr. Sharma,
not in good parliamentary practice.
The natural conclusion,
so far as Parliament is concerned.
The natural conclusion which will be drawn is this, Jay Panda, that you are now trying to use your numbers and you are trying to use rules to desperately silence an inconvenient truth. Now, whether that is the truth or not, either that will be the impression that is going around here. Had this report been convenient to the UPA, they wouldn't be trying to reject its conclusions in the manner that they are.
Arnav, you are absolutely right that this report is inconvenient to the government of the day. But the fact is, rules must be followed, and even when rules are followed, there are clear provisions that if a brute force of majority is used to try and suppress a report, then a minority report can be also attached to it. I've been a member of many committees where sections of the committee have not agreed with the majority decision, and they have submitted their opinion, which is attached to the main report as a dissenting report.
As far as a dissenting report is concerned, this is wrong.
Now let him complete. Let Mr. Panda complete. Let Mr. Panda complete. Gentlemen, I request you. Let Mr. Panda complete.
Yeah. Please let me finish. Arnab, it is quite clear that following the rules doesn't mean that you can get away with suppressing dissenting points of view. Dissenting points of view can come out in committee reports. It has happened many times. But the point I wish to make now is the previous speaker, Mr. Somnath Chatterjee,
I want to correct him on procedure and rule.
Mr. Soos, I have been a member of parliamentary committees where dissenting reports have been attached.
Parliamentary committees are different. Did not agree. Parliamentary committees are. This is the Public Accounts Committee, and there is no provision for dissent. There cannot be a dissenting note. That is a settled situation.
Well, I think.
Never
Okay, 1 minute, let Mr. Panda respond.
In the let me finish. I think, Arnab, the point is quite clearly made that if, in fact, the majority members on the committee wish to use their majority to suppress the minority viewpoint, then that must be exposed to the people of India. I think it is high time now committee hearings must be not in camera but open to the media and open to the public. This is something the previous speaker, Mr. Somnath Chatterjee, was trying to bring about, but he was opposed on the ground that committees in camera function better without the glare of the media. But obviously that has broken down, and if this is the kind of committee functioning we are going to see, then the people of India deserve to see live what is happening behind these committee walls.
Strong words here, Seshadri Chari, yes.
Arnav, Mr. Sharma mentioned about the rules. Mr. Saifuddin Soz is also mentioning about the rules. But letter killeth, spirit reviveth. Let us go by the spirit of the Constitution. It is a very different aspect to say that the Speaker need not have accepted the report. The Speaker could have told the Parliament, the Parliament and the people of India have a right to know what has transpired in the PAC. They have a right to know what the PAC has commented. As Mr. Panda has very rightly suggested, I too feel that there are always provisions wherein you can bring the truth and apply it to the Parliament. You can suggest that this is what the PAC has to find.
Okay.
If the PAC is wrong, it is for the Parliament and it is for the people of India to decide whether PAC has gone wrong or not. It is for the members of the Parliament to raise this question which Mr. Saifuddin Soz is today raising. He could have easily done that. As far as I know, Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi as chairman of PAC did not behave as a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He has taken due care to discharge his duties as a chairman in a very justified and dignified manner. But I am very sorry to say that
for the last
it was
month,
Congress members, it was the BSP members, it was the Samajwadi Party members, it was the brute force and the fear of the truth that the PAC report is bringing out. It is that fear that has brought these people together, and they have acted in an highly partisan manner, and I am absolutely sorry to say that this was least expected of a person of Mr. Saifuddin Soz's standard and stature. Even now,
one second. Mr. Sharma, I will come to you. Mr. Sharma, it will come to you, but Saifuddin Soz has been referred to directly once again, so Mr. Soz is the first right to respond. Yes, sir. Mr. Soz?
So, see, I was referring to procedure and rules, and I made 2 points that inviting witnesses is not the exclusive prerogative of the chairman. The committee has to decide, and what the committee wanted to do, many of us.
Mr. Soz, can I ask you something?
Abide by it.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Soz?
And second,
can I follow up?
Can
I ask you something, Mr. Soz? Can I ask you something?
Let me make the second point in respect of rules. There is, Mr. Panda was saying that there can be a dissenting note. There is no provision in the Public Accounts Committee, and I am making an assertion that it never happened before as it happened, under the chairmanship.
Mr. Soz, my question to you is this. Mr. Soz, my question. Mr. Soz, answer my question.
During the last month, he became restive.
Answer my question.
To produce a report hurriedly.
Answer my question. Answer my very specific question.
Yes. I will do that.
The Congress, your party, initially supported the PAC to the hilt. It went on to praise Murli Manohar Joshi, hoping to create a wedge between Joshi and the BJP. The Prime Minister also agreed and wanted to depose in front of the PAC. He said he's ready to depose. At that time, when the Prime Minister said, I'm ready to depose, did anybody from the Congress say that this report will have no validity if it is not extended to Arun Shourie?
You see, give me half the time you spoke just now before me. I want to tell you that we were going whole hog with the chairman, Mr. Joshi. And there was no hurry, and we were going, straight with him. and he invited witnesses one after the other. We never raised objection. But then we found that he was in a hurry to produce a report.
Okay.
Yes, see, 700 pages, 800 pages report was delivered today, and he wanted us to approve it tomorrow and agree with him tomorrow, and before we could do that, it was released to the press.
Okay.
Now, getting back momentarily to the procedure.
Mr. Soz is factually wrong.
How? Tell me how.
Mr. Soz is factually wrong.
I want to know.
Whenever these witnesses were called in the PAC meetings, there are records, and all these invitations to all the members who have been invited, the request, everything is on record. Now, these records will have to be brought on the portal of the Parliament. These records will have to be shared with the media in this country. Media will have to make this report public before making an acquisition against a particular member or the chairman. It is for the committee. To accept the report, table it, and then discuss that. And in Parliament, Mr. Soz can stand up and say that why Arun Shourie was not invited, and then Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi can reply. Now, all these procedures and things have been taken away from the public domain by the Congress party because they do not want 99% of the report to come to the public domain because of their fear and because of the truth that the PAC is bringing out.
Vinod Sharma, in terms of perception, my question to you is...
This is a kind of distortion.
Mr. Vinod Sharma.
Organized distortion of facts.
Mr. Sharma, my last question to you. In terms of perception, what is this doing? The new Prime Minister is saying, I'm going to have news conferences every week, but desperate attempt by the UPA to somehow junk this report and outshout the opposition, because they outnumber them. What's it doing in terms of perception, Mr. Sharma?
I mean, scriptures indeed are being quoted. Maybe you can call the person who is quoting the scriptures a devil. At the wrong time, right things are being said. I would totally disagree with any idea of throwing away the rules which guide the PAC. And I know that the PAC enjoys a higher status. In fact, it's a constitutional entity, unlike the many other parliamentary committees that we have. Standing committees and consultative committees. PAC is a constitutional entity, and it has special rules. And those rules were perhaps given to us in order to evolve a consensus on an issue which was inherently capable of a lot of conflict, But today, the person who's quoting those rules is perhaps low in popular esteem. But that doesn't make out a strong case, as Chari is trying to do away with the rules. And I don't think the Speaker could have accepted this report because it did not have the force of the majority of the members of the PAC, regardless of the authenticity of the report. Now, it is upon the wisdom of the members of the PAC and the chairman of PAC to produce a report. Otherwise, the institution of PAC will go down. The responsibility of keeping it up is as much devolves as much on Mr.
Okay, gentlemen, only for want of time tonight. Only for want of time tonight, with a promise, Mr. Chari, to come back to this very important issue, because the PAC debate is not dead. And may I say, Mr. Soz, at the very end, that the point I disagree with Mr. Sharma is about coming on the show. I'm very happy you've come on the show tonight. In the interest of transparency.
You see, one thing, you cannot have a Dyson. You cannot have a Dyson.
Sure.
You cannot have a dissenting note.
Well,
you have to arrive at a consensus.
On the News Hour, you can always have a dissenting note. On this channel, you can always have a dissenting note. And Mr. Soz, in the interest of transparency, not once, but you must repeatedly come on the PAC issue on the News Hour tonight.
In Public Accounts Committee, there cannot be a dissenting note.
Sure.
In Public Accounts Committee, there cannot be a dissenting note.
Yeah, but this is not a Parliament committee.
Sorry,
this is the News Hour.
We are talking of rules and regulations.
Yeah, but
we are talking of rules and regulations only when it suits the Congress party.
Mr. Chari.
The perception that has gone down with the people is that the Congress party is corrupt to the core.
Make the report
and
public.
Even the former finance
minister,
make the report. Prime Minister is not.
This is a distortion of fact. Why don't you get Mr. Arnab organize an hour-long debate and get Manohar Joshi and others? We want to have a free
I request you tonight. I request you tonight to say it on the show tonight, that you will come on a debate with Murli Manohar Joshi, and we will send an invitation out in the next 1 minute
I must make one point clear.
Yes.
I have lot of respect for Dr. Manohar Joshi, but on procedures he was wrong, and towards the fag end of that session, he was in a great hurry, and that hurry was a sick hurry.
Okay,
and therefore
let's-
that produced...
But since you have said you'll debate with him, and because I'm short of time, with a promise to send an invitation on behalf of Saifuddin Soz to join Murli Manohar Joshi and other PAC members on a News Hour debate.
Certainly. Certainly.
I will send that invitation out.
It will be an opportunity for me to explain the position.
We will settle the matter. We'll debate it for as long as you want, 1 hour long debate between both of you gentlemen, if the other gentleman agrees. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour this evening.